Meeting to order. This is the village board meeting, Wednesday, October 8th. If everybody stand, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Present.
Trustee DeVivo?
Present.
Trustee Kajianis?
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Present.
Trustee Yukich?
Present.
Mayor Daley?
Present. Okay. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Okay. This would be E1. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of July 8th, 2014 Village Board meeting?
So moved.
First by Trustee DeVivo.
Second.
Second by, that was Trustee Yukich. Okay. Is there any discussion?
I have something there.
Okay.
On page 9, there was one thing that, it stated in workshop item 1, the fifth paragraph, it says, Trustee Yukich asked if it was determined that a dog be dangerous or vicious, can the village ban that breed? I never said a breed. I don't want it on,
Could be that dog, right?
What do you believe you said, George?
if, just the dog. You know, it doesn't make a difference what breed it is. It's not a breed of the dog, it's who's raising the dog.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. We'll change that. Is there any other discussion on these minutes? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Kajianis?
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Okay, this would be E2. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of July 22nd, 2014 Village Board meeting?
So moved.
First by Trustee DeVivo,
Aye, second.
second by Trustee Sweet. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Kajianis? Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
I abstain, I was missing from that meeting.
Did you get that, Joe? Did you abstain? Motion carries. Okay, the next portion of this meeting is reports and communications from the mayor and other officers. I'll start out. Household hazardous waste event. On Saturday, the Village of Homer Glen and Will County hosted a household hazardous waste collection and electronic recycling event at Homer Junior High from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Although there was rain and cold weather, 879 cars dropped off waste at that event. As you can see from the pictures on the screen, this event was very successful. I'm glad that so many people took advantage of this opportunity to safely dispose of hazardous materials. I'd like to thank village staff members Heather Kokodinsky and John Robinson for coordinating this successful event. I would also like to thank Village Manager Davis and Development Services Director Salamovich for helping to direct cars and unload electronics from vehicles at that event. The EMA volunteers also did a tremendous job managing the flow of traffic. We always appreciate our outstanding EMA volunteers. Excuse me. Under ribbon cutting ceremonies, this morning I attended 3 Homer Glen businesses' ribbon cutting ceremonies. The first was Vittoria Foot and Ankle, an existing business that opted to expand and relocate to a larger space at 15772. What is that noise?
Speaker.
Is it this thing? Okay. Let's see. Located at 15772 Bell Road. The next ribbon cutting ceremony was held at K9 Couture, 15744 Bell Road, which is also in the Bell Tower Plaza. It was a great new opportunity for Homer Glen residents with pets. The third ribbon-cutting ceremony was held at Homer Glen's newest business, Advanced Auto Parts, which is located in Homer Town Square. I urge everyone to stop in and see what these new businesses have to offer. Under Chickasaw Hills, in August, the Village of Homer Glen received a public notice issued by the EPA for the renewal of IAW's
If you turn it off, though, the video won't have any sound.
Okay, we'll work through it. Okay, I'll just start that over then. In August, the Village of Homer Glen received a public notice issued by the IEPA for the renewal of IAW's NPDES permit number IL0031984. It's a discharge permit for the Chickasaw Hills WRF. At the request of Trustee Marcia DeVivo, staff prepared and submitted a letter to the IEPA raising concerns about the Chickasaw Hills WRF, including the following 3 points. Number one, the discharge permit identified the treatment of wastewater for portions of Homer Township in Will County and Orland Township in Cook County. However, the permit did not identify Lamont Township in Cook County, which is also a tributary to the Chickasaw Hills WRF. Two, questions were raised about the location of the Long Run Creek monitoring site. IAW has identified the location of the sampling monitoring site for the Chickasaw Hills WRF as being on bridge on Cedar Road. IAW noted that this location was approximately a quarter-mile downstream from the Chickasaw Hills WRF. However, this site is actually located approximately 1 mile downstream from the Chickasaw WRF. As such, the village requested confirmation that testing and monitoring was being done in accordance with current IEPA requirements, and that the specific locations of any and all testing sites be included in the permitted documents. And then three, and finally, the permit noted that the Long Run Creek was not listed as a biological significant stream. Although not listed as biologically significant stream, the village stated that the Long Run Creek does flow through the Long Run Sea Nature Preserve, which is a habitat for the endangered Hines emerald dragonfly. Furthermore, the Long Run Creek Watershed Group has prepared the Long Run Creek Watershed-based plan in March of 2014, which has recently been adopted by the Illinois EPA. The watershed plan does point out the fact that there is an overwhelming evidence that the two treatment plants in the watershed, Chickasaw Hills WRF and Derby Meadows WRF, contribute to high nutrient levels in the Long Run Creek that likely inhibit the stream from supporting biologically diverse communities. The village letter requested that the IPA, prior to finalizing the NPDES permit for the subject site, review this plan and that any relevant information be included in the permit consideration. IAW has responded with a letter to the village requesting a meeting to discuss the potential future close of the Derby Meadows WRF, the transfer of flows to Chickasaw Hills WRF, and the potential for future improvements to the Chickasaw Hills WRF. I have been in contact with IAW, and I'm working to schedule a village board workshop meeting to allow IAW to present their plans for the Chickasaw Hills facility. And that concludes the mayor's report. We'll start with the trustees' report. Trustee Costa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just briefly, on October 18th, that's a Saturday, the Homer Township's annual Children's Halloween Party will be held. The village also participates in this event. It's going to be at the Trantina Farm, 15744 West 151st Street. The event starts at 12 p.m. and goes until 2 o'clock. There'll be children's games. Of course, there's prizes for all the games that they play. Spooky stories by the fire, pumpkin decorating, donut eating contest, and a costume contest. This is for children up to 10 years old. And also, weather permitting, this is going to be an outdoor event, so please dress for the weather. I'm quite certain if the weather isn't conducive for being outside, they'll probably be in the barn. If you have any questions, please call the township office, 708-301-0522. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Costa. Trustee Yukich?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We did not have a public service and safety meeting this month. We will be having it next November, this coming November, the very first Wednesday. We will have the RV discussion on it at that time. Also, if you notice, it's getting dark out a lot earlier and all the trees are dropping their leaves, so we got to be careful of the speeds and watch out for the kids playing in the leaves. That's my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Yukich. Trustee Sabo?
Okay, my report is reporting on the Environment Committee activities. The Homer Glen Lands Day tree planting is scheduled to take place on Friday, October 31st at 10 a.m. at Stonebridge Park. The tree will be a large accolade elm, and Rick Gomez of Instant Shade Tree Planting, Inc. will be donating his services to relocate the tree. The Environment Committee continues to coordinate this activity with the Parks and Recreation Committee. Next topic is the Homer Glen Tree Replacement Program throughout the village. The village has received 83 responses from residents requesting that a tree be planted in the parkway in front of their homes. Applications were sent to people on a first-come, first-served basis. They had registered at the village and told the village about their tree problems or had trees removed. The program is receiving positive feedback. The deadline for October 14th for returning applications. The next last item is stargazing in the fall, and the second stargazing event will take place on Friday, October 17th from 8 to 10 at Homer Township's Trentina Farm on 151st Street. The Environment Committee is coordinating this event with the assistance of the Homer Glen EMA, Homer Township, and Will County School District 92. The three astronomer groups are bringing a variety of telescopes for free viewing of the beauty of the night sky and to provide educational information about the constellations. This is a popular event. I hope you all plan to attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Sabo. Trustee K. Janis?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate that. I'd also like to welcome, as you mentioned, Mr. Mayor, about the ribbon cuttings this morning, Victoria Foot and Ankle, K9 Contour, and Advanced Auto Parts. Welcome to the community and best of luck to you all. Coming up on economic development, again, diversified business and economic development in our community. We will have a ribbon cutting October 22nd at Richards Building Supply headquarters on 159th Street. I hope everyone can make it. Also, to follow, I believe it's possibly next week, got to confirm the date, is Wendy's on their remodel coming up. I hope everyone has an opportunity to visit these locations and patronize, shop, and dine Homer Glen. The resources come back to us in Homer Glen through revenue. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Trustee K. Janis. Trustee Suisse?
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting for the Homer Harvest Days Committee, our recap meeting has been postponed for another week or two, so I hope to have information available for the next board meeting. Thank you. That's my report.
Thank you, Trustee Suisse. Trustee DeVivo?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to save my report for the legislative items 4 and 5, but I wanted to make a comment. Wendy's is open again, in case anyone noticed. I went by there today, so they're open.
Okay, thank you, Trustee DeVivo. Does the clerk have a report?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
How about the village attorney?
No report this evening, Mr. Mayor.
How about any task force chairpersons? How about any public safety officials? Joe? Okay. How about the village manager?
I do, Mayor. First, I'll say we'll get somebody in here to pay attention to the audio-video stuff here sometime this week or before your next meeting. All right, so just a couple quick items. The household hazardous waste event that the mayor talked about earlier was so successful. And I just really want to mention in particular Heather Krokodinsky and John Robinson, who on the staff level co-chaired putting that all together, organizing the volunteers. And, you know, Mike to my right, who spent all day out there in the rain with me and Heather and everything. Just really want to thank him. It was an overwhelming response, and the thing that was really great about it, and I know a couple of you came through with items, which is great. The thing that was really great about it was the number of people who personally thanked us just for being out in that horrible weather. And everybody was really gracious because at the height of it, people were waiting in line for 40 to 50 minutes, yeah. And they just stayed in line. You know, we even told them when they turned the corner, the wait is going to be about 50 minutes, and they were committed to disposing of their hazardous waste appropriately. So we just really appreciate everybody's patience, and I really am grateful for the staff giving up their Saturday like they did. So it was a record-setting drop-off for a Homer Glen drop-off event. And every time we do one of these, I think, oh my gosh, there's no way that there's going to be another 1,000 televisions, you know, dropped off, and yet it keeps coming. So ultimately, on the electronic side, they hauled away the equivalent of 2 complete semis full of electronics. And I know Heather has shared in my report some information about other things that they collected on the hazardous waste side. So just really appreciative. After that event on Saturday, I had the good fortune of going over to the Trinity Services and open house. The families there on Crystal Lake Drive held an open house. There were over 200 people that showed up to it. I took cookies. I didn't have to because there were dozens and dozens and dozens of cookies and well wishes from family members and friends and whatnot. So I just want to wish Joey and Brendan the best of luck. For those of you who have an opportunity to tour the house, it is a beautiful home. They have really created a beautiful living environment there. So today we had a challenge this morning, a very big challenge for some businesses in particular in town, and I'm sure some residents. On or about 8:30, there was a power outage in town that affected Homer Glen and the west side of Orland Park. Approximately 1,124 customers were impacted, and when we know specifically what occurred, I like to report on it. There were some malfunctioning arresters. If you know what those are, those are things that kind of protect some of the equipment from lightning strikes. These malfunctioning arresters caused some of the feeder lines to lock out, and this happened over on South Woodcrest, which of course is just north of 151st. So we were in contact with staff, was in contact with ComEd during the whole time of the outage, and the sheriff's office and various staff members went out and put down the stop signs and helped with traffic, which was great. ComEd was able to get up about 62% of all those people that were in the outages by 9:46. And then the other remaining 38% were out until 11:39, which is what we were out here. This underlined an issue that we'll probably be talking about tomorrow when we have our next village staff and board discussion with our architects, and that we do not have a backup generator for this village hall. You never have. And so whenever something like this happens, we lose power too. So residents that are calling in on our line to get information about the outage, the phone just rings because there's no power system that supports the phone or lighting system. So obviously when we go over to our new facility, we'll want to make sure we have some generators. So just want to let you know I met with Rowland Brown, the external affairs manager from ComEd this afternoon. He came by. He wanted to make sure that we understood that this was not a systematic problem. He told us about the malfunctioning and the exact times that people were brought back up, and then, of course, gave his personal number to us for any residents or businesses that had any questions, and asked us to forward those people to him. So, also, just to the kudos department, I want to thank staff members who've played such a big role in, as they do whenever we have new development in town. With the Richards Building Supply building that went online this past week. I had an opportunity to go to an event that they had over there last week, and I know Joe was also there, and I just want to thank everyone on staff who's worked on that, Janie, obviously, and Michael, and in particular, the building department staff. Joe and Scott and Doreen really went above and beyond on this project, and we can be very proud of what they did there. As a matter of fact, in the program that they had at the event, Richards, I'm quoting their exact words, it says, "We would also like to recognize Mayor Jim Daly and the Village of Homer Glen trustees and administrators whose business-friendly approach and policies so graciously accepted Richards Building Supply into this vibrant community and to serve as a hallmark of the thriving commercial corridor. So they were very appreciative. That was in the written part of their program, and they also said some very nice things verbally during their dedication. We really appreciated their comments. So finally, Michael wanted to update the board on intersection improvements in town. So Mike?
The contractor is doing the work at the 151st and Parker Road and 143rd and Lamont Road intersections. Made some pretty good progress over the last week and a half. At 151st and Parker, they're ready for curb to be poured on the north side of 151st Street and the east side of Parker Road. This is expected to be done hopefully by the end of this week or early next week. And then once that occurs, then the paving will take place probably sometime by October 17th. At the 143rd and Lamont Road intersection, the curbs have already been installed on the north side of 143rd Street and the west side of Lamont Road. And paving is in these areas is expected to be done probably sometime towards the end of this week. Once this work has been done, then the traffic patterns will switch so that it'll allow them to do the other sides. They are expected, at this point, we're expecting both intersections to be completed and open by the end of this year. So they are moving forward with the work.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Do you have anything else?
That's it.
Okay. That concludes the reports and communications from the mayor and other officers. The next portion of this meeting would be public comment. Try to keep your remarks to 3 minutes. First speaker would be Pat Cosmer. Pat, name and address for the record.
Pat Cosmo, 13830 Sandstone Drive, home in Glen, Pebble Creek subdivision. I came before you guys in July with an issue with the foreclosed home that's next to me. And I remember I brought pictures of these that were 3 feet tall. And my other concern was the dead ash tree, which borders my property and is pretty close to the property line. These are the branches that are now coming down from that tree, which is hazardous to anyone that's in my yard, any people that I have over that sits on my deck. And a bigger concern is that if I'm mowing the lawn, or if I'm even cooking in my kitchen, this tree is going to fall through my roof. At that time, I told you of an ordinance with the state of Illinois that grants the village the right to go in there and take down the tree. I believe I gave you this paper then. You also have in the Homer Glen plan recommendations for infested hazardous trees on private property, which states if the ash tree is deemed to be hazardous, the resident will then be contacted by the village building code enforcement personnel in writing that the tree is considered public nuisance and requires removal in 30 days. I want to know if you've done anything since my time here telling me about this in July, getting this 30-day notice out to those people, whether it be the bank or whoever owns the property. Because this tree is hazardous. If this comes down on my grandson or anyone that's visiting me and sitting on my deck, I'm going to have to hold somebody liable. And the fact that I've been here twice and let you know about this, I think should prompt some action and get the tree removed. Beyond that, like I said, the code for the state of Illinois also gives you the authority. It says the authority to obtain a lien for removal of diseased trees has been expanded to include the authority to remove ash trees infected with emerald ash borer, C65 ILCS 5/11-20-12. There are alternative procedures to obtain a lien, and then there's another 65 ILC 5/11-20-15-1. So we'd really like to take some action on this before someone gets hurt.
Okay. I'll have Mike, do you want to?
Yeah, look, follow up with the building permit and code enforcement.
Okay.
Also, you guys were out there once to cut the weeds. They're getting followed on too. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, the next speaker would be John Coy.
12056 Venetian Way, Homer Glen. In 1986, well, maybe I should start the other way. We just had Jackie Robinson team from Chicago going to the Nationals and winning. The one thing we don't really look into the way, and I had talked to a person, and then I had talked to the person that ran the teams. In 1986, we had a team that 3 years out of 4 years went to the Nationals. And from what I'm under the assumption, what I heard, it might be the only time one team went to the Nationals 3 times in 4 years, and they are from Homer Glen. The team was coached by Pete Farrell, and it's unbelievable, you know, and I had picked this stuff up, and I think that sometime in the future we should honor this man for what he did with these boys. One of them played for he signed with the Sox and played with the Cubs. And his name was Ron Coomer from Lockport High School. He also had 2 other players signed for professional contractors, ball teams. And anyway, I don't know how far they went, but I do know Coomer played for the Sox a few games and then played for the Cubs for 2 or 3 years. And like I say, I really would like to see, possibly when we get into our new village hall, that this man could get something in the appreciation for what he had done for our community at that time.
Okay, thank you, John. All right, the next speaker would be, my musical glasses here, Mary Ann Bozen.
Mary Ann Bozen, 13810 Rock Bluff Way in Homer Glen. I just wanted to find out how many of you knew the damage that was caused down at the Healing Garden about the cement slabs on the seating that was completely destroyed, 4 of them. I did go down to Homer Township, and Pam does know about it. She has known about it, and she has done what she could do, but I was wondering if there was some way the police could, and this here, I understand, probably happened in around 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning, and if there was any way that people coming from wherever they are, the police would be able to check out to see if there's cars out there, because those darn suckers are really heavy, and it must have, if anybody lift them, I mean, it had to be 5 or 6 guys at one time, because they are really heavy, but they're just, it's really unfortunate.
Okay, I'll have the police department take a look into it.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes public comment. The next portion of this meeting is recognition. As many of you know, I created a village recognition program in 2013 called Making the Difference Award. I will present this award from time to individuals or groups who have exemplified the outstanding spirit of volunteerism in Homer Glen. Tonight, I would like to recognize the contributions of Schilling School. Through a combined effort of its teachers, staff, and students, Schilling was able to raise $6,378 for Make-A-Wish Illinois, a nonprofit which benefits children with life-threatening illnesses. The average child's wish cost $6,000. The school was able to obtain the money from 12 outstanding fundraisers held throughout the school year. For Schilling School's endeavor, making sure that at least one more wish will be granted to a child in 2014 through Make-A-Wish Illinois, I'd like to present Principal Ann Christie with the village's 4th Making the Difference Award. Congratulations, Schilling School, on your outstanding volunteerism and generosity. Now, before I bring you up here, Ann, the award, boy, it's tough to read here. You gotta put something behind it. Let's see. You know what, I can't even, Making It a Difference Award to Schilling School in appreciation of your outstanding volunteerism, service, and dedication. Thank you for truly making a difference. Congratulations on raising funds for Make-A-Wish, Illinois.
Hope it takes a lens cap.
Congratulations. Anyone would like to say anything about how you raised the money? Step up to the microphone and go right ahead.
Well, I'd like to introduce Donna Gritzman, who was our chairperson for Make-A-Wish last year and is the chairperson this year. And through her efforts, she was able to instill in our children the importance of giving back not only to the community, but to the world. It's not her first endeavor with our fundraising events, but Schilling School is awfully lucky to have her on staff because she really encourages the kids to make a difference.
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, also I'd like to just, Ms. Christie and Ms. Gritzman, I had the opportunity over the last couple of years to personally witness your efforts at the school, at Schilling School, and I just want to say, hats off to you all. It's just exciting every year what you create, the excitement through the kids, for a purpose, for a cause, and for the right thing. I just want to say, great job, and it's well-deserved.
Thank you again. Okay, that concludes recognition. This portion of the meeting will be of the agenda, our legislation and action items. This would be I-1. Is there a motion to approve the Village of Homer Glen's 2014-2015 Illinois Municipal League membership dues in the amount of $1,601?
So moved.
First by trustee Costa, second by trustee Sabo. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Pagianis?
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Motion carries. This would be I-2. Is there a motion to approve the project agreement document for the village's existing business incentive non-conforming sign replacement loan program?
So moved.
First by trustee Kajanis.
Second.
Second by trustee DeVivo. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Pagianis?
Aye.
Motion carries. This would be I-3. Is there a motion to approve the project agreement document for the village's existing business incentive facade improvement loan program?
So moved.
First by trustee Costa,
Second.
second by trustee, that was Yukich down there?
Yep.
Trustee Yukich. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Pagianis?
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Motion carries. This would be I-4. Is there a motion to approve the bid proposal from George's Landscaping in the amount of $12,246 for the assembly and installation of 6 benches along the Village Heroes Trail?
So moved.
First by trustee DeVivo,
Aye, second.
second by trustee Swees. Is there any discussion?
I have a quick question.
Go right ahead.
What was the criteria used in determining the placement of the benches?
The benches, actually, the village board signed off on the location of the benches by me a little bit more than a year ago. And
Do they stay the same?
no, some of them had to be slightly adjusted. One of the reasons why the project has taken so long, and I'm glad Jim is here because I can say thank you to him for his good work. When we originally worked with ComEd, We did not, they reviewed it, but then when we went back to them, different people were involved and they reviewed it more than they had before. And they had some concerns about a couple of the locations. So Jim had to find adjusted locations, move them around. And they also had some concerns about how grounded they were. And so Jim has had to been working with them to make sure they're in appropriate locations so that they're grounded and we don't have any electricity problems, et cetera, et cetera. So for the most part, though, I think, Jim, I think most of the benches stayed where they were. There were like
and
two.
Two were removed because of various reasons, but
Right.
Most of the benches were in the vicinity of where they were originally located.
Right. One was relocated. The committee had some discussions about there not being a bench on Bell Road, and they wanted a bench to be on Bell Road at the start. So actually, the family for the young gentleman who was very unfortunately killed up the street had contacted us and said that they would be interested in having a memorial bench. So it kind of moved together really nicely. They are one of the 3 people that are on the list right now to come forward with doing the memorial benches right from the start. And it will be located close to the area where you see them putting flowers regularly. I think that this will be the replacement for the flowers that you see regularly, and serve a purpose because we get a lot of traffic on Bell Road with joggers and bicyclists. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, is there any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Kajanis?
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Sluis?
Aye.
Motion carries. This would be I-5. Is there a motion to approve the recommendation from the Villages Park and Recreation Committee regarding establishing the donation amount of $2,000 per bench for the Heroes Trail Memorial Bench Program? It is understood that the donor will pay the cost of the purchase and the delivery of the bench totaling $2,000, and the village will pay the remaining fees for the memorial plaque and the assembly plus installation of the bench.
So moved.
Second.
First by, who is this down here? Trustee Yukich, second by Trustee Kajanis. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I just want to say, a lot of times people will hear that amount and they'll think, wow, that's an expensive bench. These are benches that are meant to stand the test of time. Jim has spent some time with them. They are exceedingly heavy. They will be bolted to the cement, so they will not be disappearing anywhere. And they will definitely stand the test of time. We may have to go in and paint them occasionally because the weather has effect, but these are not the customary kind of benches that you see at a hardware store that you would buy. These are heavy-duty benches.
Okay. Thank you. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Kajanis?
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Sluis?
Aye.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Motion carries. This would be I-6. Is there a motion to recommend approval of the proposal from H.R. Green for construction engineering services related to the completion of public improvements in the Hunt Club Meadows subdivision in the amount of $12,750? It is understood that this work will be paid from the Hunt Club Meadows letter of credit funds after deducting construction costs to complete the public improvements, which is currently being pulled in its entirety by the Village of Homer Glen.
So moved.
First by, who was that? Trustee DeVivo?
Second.
Second by Trustee Kajanis. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Kajanis?
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Sluis?
Aye.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, that concludes legislation and action items for tonight. This would be J. Is there any old business? Okay, then we move to K. Is there any new business? Okay, then is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
First by Trustee Costa.
Second.
Who's the second? Second, Trustee Yukich. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Meeting adjourned.
I just told Jim,